COPEC akase the increase in revenue of price per crude, in the second quarter alone of 2021, it raised some $89 million or around 500 million Ghana cedis into government revenues. It almost freezes a government can simply cushion the Ghanaian fuel consumer with this amount. Na etimi abwa because baby our prices na ekono eni eya ayenyan. And so we share price per window even this year. Price per window. And I'll take you through. January. If I don't start from December 2020, now a 4 cedis 67 pesos. January 2021, first window. Now a jump about 4 cedis 95 pesos. The same January 2021, second window, about 4 cedis 99 pesos. In that same January, before the month of January ended, about 5 cedis 80 pesos. Oko February first window no eso take akra about 5 cedis 10 pesos. Second window in February, that's this year, 5 cedis 20 pesos. In the same second window of February, emusai jampe kakako 5 cedis 30 pesos. Over March, second window of March, no, first window of March, sorry, 5 cedis 32 pesos. That same March, second window, 5 cedis 45 pesos. Uko April, eso take kaka from 5 cedis 45 pesos, about 5 cedis 36 pesos. And the Musai Peja Bioko 5 cedis 45 pesos. May, a jumpy bar 6 cedis 13 pesos. In that same May, after about 6 cedis 0.5 pesos. Uko June, and maintaining in the first window 6 cedis 0.5 pesos. And after in the second window of June, about 6 cedis 23 pesos. In July, 6 cedis 23 pesos. July now 6 cedis 23 pesos in the second window. Now about August, 6 cedis 35 pesos. In the second window of August, still 6 cedis 35 pesos. Over September first window, 6 cedis 38 pesos. September second window, 6 cedis 52 pesos. October, 6 cedis 52 pesos. Now in the first window. October second window, about 6 cedis 80 pesos. And on November, first window, ajampi about 6 cedis 90 pesos. In the future, from December last year, December 2020, till now, the changes, 1 cedis 95 pesos now babeka 1 cedis 95 pesos. In the usual percentage increment now, somewhere in the regions of 39%. And abeka, and according to COPEC, this year began with a price of 9 cedis 50, 4 cedis 95 pesos per liter for either diesel or petrol in January 2021. And now it is 6 cedis 90 pesos, representing about 1.95 Ghana cedis cumulative increment, while the direct change between the first window of January to the first window of November is 39.39%. The introduction of the Energy Sector Recovery Levy, 20 pesos, and the Sanitation and Pollution Levy, 10 pesos, as well as increment in other margins, contributed to a 12.48% increment between the last pricing window of April to the first window of May after the ESLA 2021 Act 1064 was passed. And clearly, the whole challenge with the taxes and the levies, but also the increment from January till now, it's a bit huge. And That is where Saban Ebeye Bibia Fahua, and was a buying Eden in Sa Eka, na Ahoha Kakra Eden, it to me Eba. But would government do that? That's the big question. And I was saying, and come but at the pump, the price keeps going up. NPA would have to tell us something. The Ministry of Energy would have to tell us something. Na you who said in your maybe 38 after 2. O ma hine kwabna santiat na say. O ma na kwa ba na pon to say. O mo mai. Okay. O ma na kwa ba.
Oh yeah, Obi. I was just getting a bit of education from the UK when you go to the gas station and that of the US. Mm-hmm. When you go, you visit their pumps. Yes. And we're comparing this idea. Mm-hmm. I think I'm just forwarding it to you. Say that we are with me.
UK DNO.
And the US there. No.
No, ocean nominal figures now.
I think that.
But I think the most important thing was ocean so yeah, the purchasing power.
Yeah, but that's what I'm going to. But that's what I'm going to say. Say, okay. Probably, hono, odi yem fato ho, and you will be the dark when we. So I say, net tono cry. They will still buy, complain.
Yeah.
But the complaint will not be much.
Yes.
To say yeah or yeah. Environment, now shall sitting anymore. Say and now shall ketria. So it has now shown to Muna, a challenge for us. The system as it operates there, Bibian and Namna Kwanso,
absolutely.
The system as it operates here, deficient. So many reasons. So it has Obu how I Jima for almost bare 5 years. I could turn to Mukrano, Bida. And on TV impose that. So I say, but be around him or her piano, Kwan Ede, Ekosum. Tushima, and nothing I believe any brace here to Petroma. If we say any or mine, and she say be a Akano and Copepe, a bobra. You can say Copepe, you say Cassia 2 bedroom, 1 city, also I get you 2 1 city there. But on mine and Casana Muntu. Any Juma and cry ye, say your bed, or my Juma, say a bay Juma, say a wow Juma.
Yes.
Now share petrol to Muna, who Susan so a Juma Edinima. A too much of a headache and a problem for us as Ghanaians. But on the surface, who share a boy and dear mama, US and UK dear. Once a born war, I was super. So I say, but almost share for almost sitting money or more. I think it's reasonably fair than ours because we'll be near Juma and net Busumi and cost only 500 cities.
Because also, is it the US one? Okay, the 1st November, US gasoline prices. 1st November 2021. I think per liter 900 and is it 988 cents?
Yeah.
And a gallon $3.74. $3.74. And that's for gasoline prices, And UK the is it £1.52?
Exactly.
Okay. That's for the UK. But in our case, no said American I can end. Let me thank Duncan Amwa. On our finishing me with all the data. In the Uber your Facebook page, I will be a pricing window. There are two Facebook from December last year till now, and the changes now about.
Well, in thanking Duncan Amwa, say the Biamika, the petrol politics that we do.
Yes.
And they will do something to show you.
Of course.
The petrol politics that we do. And no idea Babe do something to show you. Tina mekati say wo to akachema FM now he petrol and petrol do ayatuma probably 1 cedi 90 pesos or 96 pesos or so
the year and they are changing 1 cedi is 95
pesos. Yes. Send petrol politics. And explanation would be mine. Because you can't just say no mommy and son influences are the so I know mommy and say I can't say we are seeing a dready bro, a bo. And son about Yankasa, you see it to the dollar, and who she share, and son about a 2 level. Yes, your mommy know what in who to me. If a second one as in the exchange, you will to me partially. They toss me and son of the you are in full control at 2 that's all. A 20 also a debutaibi and a debut family. Sabutano, you know who for swing your home and your man is in every. Even as a 2 and that's what farms are a year from Gono. And we have a lot of reasons, and the reason is that any fair, say petrol bono, and that's what the Ginano. And into the dano, make us say, I buy mitri mupo, say Obama Busuminu. Be near homeno. Say Trimupono quadi and Kayo, but a woefully inadequate. Woefully inadequate. And into that Bibia does make us say, as I say, yeah, you want mining.
Yes,
you're back to the point to say, so be back simpiesu, business simpiesu. Ebe to a young piacas or the petrol sem, ebe ya man sema, baby. I was here, some conforming now, you free shots here, as you who because nada and I day, adoso. When the NDC was in power, we shots yes, and common edo. We have the current president, our TC, Ojina Simpiesu, and talked about fuel prices. Say, a coffee, medium, any pabonio, the Bamba Titino so, petrol in any boss, so, the Bama Mutim Hunchemosa, I won't say P, they won't mind move. So, by that same equation, the NDC is doing same. And then the American say, "Oh, mine one casa I don't know." Anyway, but the problem that we have to solve, because the then opposition leader, Nana Danko Kufado, Ejina Simpiesu Kachre say, Petro Boye day, NDC 40 more day, John Mahama Modimbo Enya Papa, or no bow no be and Timor day, or me a hunchia. Petro kwa na ekoso asiani saying you cannot explain that as of that time world market price and all, you cannot explain that to anybody now. So equal response and NBC for edema. When we do those political calculations now, the main issue are COPEC for PCS solve no, we've not solved it. Because the two parties are throwing it at themselves at the expense of Yena and Vivian. Yen, yes, say, Yahuti Mani Broso. You will to me, she said me, and Bakubi so entirely. I bet me, I drink home, as she shall see from. A whole necessity and common holding
and I think, man, Unsana will say some of the levies and taxes. Ebia will simupontia.
Exactly.
Good. Sisia babia obia dwea kwakọ baso the special petroleum tax because how kwaka your friend is saying pollution is a levy na abana there would be some kind of a justification for them. If whether the justification makes sense or not, another argument. But for the special petroleum tax, for now I don't see the justification for it.
Well,
because again, so budget our finance minister presented last year. And commodity prices, Mr. Speaker, data from the January edition of the International Monetary Fund World Economic Outlook project Brent crude oil prices to average $50.03 for 2021 and $48.82 for 2022. Till the finance minister on the projection, as we speak, the price of crude on the world international market, is around $80. Now we project $50. So it's around $80. Mind you, say, this special petroleum tax now oil prices brought up from below even $40. And NDC are buying at the buy. Now, more 5 years. Say, was so the sunset clause was for 5 years. Say, a one I hate it around $80. What's the justification? You understand? And so we shall windfall through this over $80 million. And I think government should come out if there is a justification to tell us. And yes, our party on the face of it, no, there is no longer justification for the SPT.
But,
in my candid opinion.
But that's what I have said, and I've advocated for them. But that's why I keep telling you that just a question of amanyosem and intricacy at the end of the year.
Yes.
We'll be going around circles like this, and the actual problem SSC is solved. Yes, it be solved. A bunch of more bro on this issue of say special petroleum taxes. You feel because the SSC apart from if you know on the ground, you know fast about will bring a justification. That's a sound windfall nobody. Why can't we use same to also tackle other areas and other matters of relevance? And to say on a roundtable discussion and on this matter of petrol and its politics, no, need the needed focus. And can see so say petrol no saka petrol Ghana. Odo saka bibia ya to dan ya to nyomum ya to nuanim ya to bibi school fees mu ya to bibia mu busa ho say the nipa no reliant on e dey call by the close of every month as na ketua no eno ya to mana no
on unim e was say ye kokofa press conference when NPP headquarters by a bar two major stories papa ya ye bubu ni dan enna so Dominic is here boy ma fa yesi capital say what is answer
no Mister so wo kasa en shedam kobu ani emfa Dominic is here boy mo amu be kama mo ni hunu madaroma enne ye koba se be bia mti am se me kasa enne de Dominic is here boy ne Philip Osebusu omo de edufudi agenti no and two others obi so send airtime 1,700 among 2,700 na na say ye cash ano mo anga so munyanse no suku o makoyi na abadi ni masters in whatever gina no o da bodo mami obi akabeka mami eno na begin emi bi bisa me clubhouse bi be etira bibi o se maka achiri edi me chiraw mo amon wi abadi mu kuko gia jam ko double communication master blah 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 no obi ono so tikios no watimi B2 to the game I'm watching almost 6,700 and two others details no coming soon on the network near you
plus but the story of a Roman rate right hey but actually
in say in credit Roman rich cantonments switch back nesa laboni honum no Makacho, the kind of people near aviation is the kind of people who have taken over these lands. You know, pay attention. But if we start paying attention, people occupy the corridors of power, the abuse of power.
Omani Nkomra, yeba, yebedi san komuni, Ekosiisen Suni, Asempa FM on a Friday afternoon, call Asylum Down, MPP headquarters. Stay with us.
That today, as a result of COVID, some 4 million American workers have decided they won't go back to work anymore. They are forming their own companies. And it's due to the effect of digitalization or the use of technology. And they don't want the same to be replicated here in Ghana. And so there's a need for the public to be informed about exactly what Dr. Baumia set out to do, because the NDC has sent, as usual, its hawks, very ignorant ones, to insult and denigrate the whole idea of digitalization of the economy. So, without much ado, I would call on Dr. Gideon Buako, the spokesperson of the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, to do us the honors to take us through exactly what the process of digitalizing the economy is and how it's improving our economy and making it a better one for the future. Thank you very much. Doctor, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Richard. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, good afternoon. It is an honor for me to join you all here today for such an important conversation. This interactive session with you will center on Ghana's digitization agenda and how it fits well into President Akufo-Addo's vision of building a modern Ghanaian economy anchored on digital technology. It is a conversation and political resolution that we must have as a country if indeed we want to be equally competitive in the global space. Thankfully, the current political leadership led by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is showing the needed interest and commitment to create a modern Ghanaian economy that can compete favorably globally and conform to the dictates of the fourth industrial revolution. Undoubtedly, the global development paradigm is moving. Some may argue has moved from the industrial age into the technology and information age. This transition is coming with its own transition terms, such as e-commerce, e-procurement, e-marketing, e-business, and electronic money. Not to be left behind is e-governance in the public sector, which is our focus this afternoon. And with it comes all the other interventions mentioned earlier. In nearly 5 years, this government has been pursuing aggressive digitization and digitalization agenda by using ICT as a tool to achieve better governance. The overarching objective is to get government public institutions to use ICT to enhance their ways and means of linking with the general public in ways to reduce cost, improve performance, increase ease of access and speed of delivery and effectiveness. It is about how government organizes itself, its administration, rules and regulations, and frameworks to coordinate and perform public administration. For many post-colonial societies like ours that appear stuck in the old and antiquated ways of doing things, technological innovations and digitization are just what is needed to leapfrog years of public administration reforms that have almost become a never-ending business, in some cases even more bureaucratic, more red tape, more opaque, and impediments to doing business. Much of the public sector administration which this government inherited were actually set up as instruments of governance of the people by the ruling class. It is a rigid public sector, unbending, centralized, and in many ways slow in responding to public needs. And I must say, most of the public administration systems, even as at today, are pretty much the same despite the interventions we are seeing. They all have to be fixed and now. Following the brilliant public lecture delivered by the Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia on digital economy at Ashesi University some 4 days ago, Ghanaians have had some reawakening on the potentials of digitalization and digitization for economic development. Embracing digital technologies means providing strategic drivers to create open, participatory, and trustworthy public sector to improve social inclusiveness and government accountability, and to bring together government and non-government actors to develop innovative approaches to national development and long-term sustainable growth. A World Bank study has shown that every 10% increase in broadband penetration boosts GDP by an average of 1.3%, and every 10% increase in mobile teledensity results in a 0.7% increase in the gross domestic product of a nation. This means digital governance, which will need these tools to be successful, is crucial to economic transformation of developing nations like Ghana. But the question is, how is Ghana's digitization agenda improving the economy? And I hear many people asking some basic and pertinent questions about the linkage between digitization and economic development, and I will try to highlight this. Many pundits and analysts have tried to either explain or seek clarity on how Ghana's digitization agenda is linked to economic management or economic development. While the theoretical explanations for the digitization and economic growth nexus is clear and established, the consequential practicalities of the linkage appear unclear to some. I will attempt to highlight a few of these. For instance, people have asked the question about how digitization relates to exchange rate depreciation, debt levels, cost of goods and services or prices on the market. In trying to appreciate how the development of digital technologies can help reduce the cost of goods and services, we need to understand how price build-ups of goods occur through exchange rate exposures. It must be understood that one means by which the currencies of countries become exposed is rising debt levels. As our debt levels and debt services burden increase, we need more foreign currency to settle our debt obligations when they fall due, if they are externally procured. This consequentially exerts dampening effects on our local currency's performance, leading to depreciation. A country with an increasingly depreciating currency has higher import costs, which is corollary passed on to prices on the market. So indeed, if we want to see how digitization is going to help us reduce prices of goods and services on the market, i.e. inflation, that is where I'm driving you to. Countries borrow because their domestically mobilized revenues are inadequate to finance critical expenditure. This arises from a highly informal economic architecture, inefficient tax administration systems, and smaller than required tax nets. What governments have done in the past is to increase the tax burden of the few who are willing and pay taxes, thereby collapsing businesses and causing unemployment. Surprisingly, despite the widespread technical and street view that the solution to getting increased domestic revenue is broadened tax base, successive governments have done little to stem the tide. The solution offered by this government is to use digital solutions such as the national ID card system. The beginning of this commitment is the aggressive manner in which government executed the national ID card registration. In furtherance to that, we have integrated the national ID and replaced it with the GRA tax identification number. As indicated by the Vice President, this integration automatically raises the number of Ghanaians with tax identification number from 4% to 86%. This has broadened the tax base and made it possible for many Ghanaians to be identified as potential taxpayers. We have moved a step forward following the Vice President's challenge to GRA to make the processes of filing taxes easier and simple to be done using mobile application device. This device is available on Ghana.gov mobile app, which is available on Google Play Store or App Store on Android. The Ghana.gov mobile app is also a platform that ensures that payments for government services are done electronically and funds channeled to government accounts instead of being pilfered. So clearly, we see the direct impact of the digitalization agenda on the potential for Ghana to mobilize more revenues domestically without overburdening the taxpayer. We also see how this could potentially cut down on our debt levels and consequently help us to attain a relatively stable currency and reduce the rate of inflation. So what I'm saying here is that if you have a country like Ghana, where we borrow so much because we are unable to mobilize revenue domestically, our tax revenue is about 14.5% of our GDP. So once we get this tax revenue, it's unable to do so much for us. We therefore need to go and borrow money. Once you go to the international market and you borrow and get dollars, bring to Ghana. When the payments are due, you have to exchange cedis for dollars. Okay, and in so doing, your currency comes down and depreciates, and the dollar appreciates. Now, once you have a depreciated currency, your imports become expensive, because anytime you want to import, you have to exchange so much cedis to get the dollar. And when the imports come, because it's expensive, the price or the cost is passed on to the average consumer. What you need to do is to make sure you increase or broaden your tax base and raise so much revenue domestically such that how much you're borrowing from the international market is reduced. And that is exactly what we're doing with the national ID card, by integrating it with the tax identification number and increasing the number of people who have tax identification numbers from 4% to 86%. You broaden the tax net, you get so much revenue domestically, you borrow less, and in that case, your currency becomes stable and your imports does not become expensive. There have also been the question on how can digitization help us create jobs. There is this contention on how digitization can help create jobs or reduce the rate of unemployment. Someone even said, yeah, Juma, what's digitization? To wait, we need jobs, and you're talking about digitization. But I dare say that digitization is making it possible for many jobs to be created in both the public and the private sectors. The concept of digital technologies has come with what we could be seen as a virtual means of trade, put differently as e-commerce. Think of that young university student or graduate who does not have the required startup capital to rent physical space or shop to ply her trade. She is able to skip this hurdle and trade using the social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and so on. Her shop is her dormitory, hostel, car booth, or bedroom. She is able to advertise her products, get orders, and receive payments through the mobile money payment interoperability with no hassle. She has a job now and hires a delivery man to deliver the goods to the buyer, thereby creating job for the delivery man also. The volumes of trade taking place via the technologically driven medium and the number of people employed in this space could be mind-blowing. There are many people today who have turned their home kitchens into restaurants, yet no one visits them physically to eat. They advertise using digital technology, receive orders using digital technology, receive payments using digital technology, and move their incomes to bank accounts using digital technology. This is how digitization is creating jobs. Okay, so many jobs are created in the digital space that you find it difficult to even quantify. And so when people ask the question, yeah, per Juma, what's a digitization? We need to appreciate and understand that so many jobs are created in the digital space in this country. Digitization and economic growth. Some also ask the question, how is digitization related to the macroeconomy? Okay, how is it related to economic growth? Some ask, Why don't you talk about economic growth, like GDP, since that is what you are known for? Yes, everything we do is geared towards enhancing economic growth and increasing the growth spurt. But quite interestingly, having the desire and wish to increase growth is one thing, and putting in place the system to serve as vehicle for that economic takeoff is also another. We keep on doing the same things in the old-fashioned way and still expect new results. No way, it won't happen. Growing up, through my youthful days to my adulthood, I've been hearing rhetoric about how we are blessed as a country with abundant natural resources such as gold, diamond, bauxite, oil, cocoa, and so on, and still we are not developed. There have been talks about how better or at par we were with countries such as South Korea, Malaysia, and so on, but today are miles away from us in terms of development. While we complain about the hopelessness of the society we have created for ourselves, we equally must be aggressive in thinking outside the box to offer the most contemporary solutions to our long-standing challenges. The complaints and rhetoric will not do the magic. How can we have increased economic activity and growth when we do not put in place systems to make trade and commerce executed efficiently and effectively with speed? Before we implemented mobile money payments interoperability, we saw how difficult and slow it was for people to pay for services and receive money, either remittances or debt payment from one another. In an economy where velocity of money is low, economic activity is slowed down and growth is hampered. We have addressed this economic challenge with the economic solution underpinned by digital technology called the mobile money payments interoperability. It has made life easier, simpler, brought efficiency into our payment system architecture. So what we are saying here is that if you want to see how digitization is linked to economic growth and GDP growth, you need to ask yourself the basic questions. How can we spur economic growth? You spur economic growth when there is increased economic activity, people are able to pay and receive money as and when they are due. But when you have a system whereby if somebody is in Tamale and owes me and I'm in Accra, the only means by which the person can pay is to go to the bank and deposit the money in my accounts. Well, I don't even have bank accounts. What happens? Or travel from Tamale to come to Accra to pay me. You can imagine the number of days for the person to travel and come to Accra. So until the person comes to Accra, I don't receive my money. And until I receive my money, I'm unable to invest the money for my business to grow. When it happens like that, you slow down economic activity. You solve such economic problem by bringing economic solution, and we did so with technology. We brought the mobile money payments interoperability. That makes it easier and simpler for you to transfer money from one point to the other. It doesn't matter the geographic location and the distance. So you see that money goes and comes, what we call in economics the velocity of money, the rate or the frequency at which money changes hands. When money goes and comes frequently, then you are able to use that money to spur economic activity. And once economic activity increases, productivity increases. And once productivity increases, your growth also increases and you have higher GDP. So those who are asking what is the linkage between technology and GDP growth, this is how we are working to solve the problem of GDP growth with technology. And that is the understanding we need to get. Another way to look at this is also the use of electricity. In today's modern world, access to and use of electricity is so central to economic development. How can a society or an economy compete globally when it is designed in such a way that access to electricity is severely impaired by the lack of fiscal structure and technologies to make it easier to be accessed? We lived in a country where after 60 years of independence, a factory or worker had to stop working for hours because electricity units are used up and vendors have gone to sleep. How do you increase productivity and growth with this bedtime no electricity mentality? Today, through digital technology, we have made it possible for millions of Ghanaians to have access to electricity from an app on their phones without having to shut engines of machines. So another way that we're using technology to increase economic growth is in the area of electricity. We all know that the Ghanaian economy cannot move if you don't have electric power. And we had created a system that was so analog in design that if by the middle of the night or after 10 p.m. or so, your electricity units get used up, you have to sleep in darkness. If you were working, you have to stop working, because if you go out, the vendor who is selling the units to you is asleep and you cannot have access to electricity. Once you don't have access to electricity, you become unproductive. Okay? And your GDP can never grow. You solve that problem by introducing the ECG app. And by the ECG app, those whose meters are compliant to the app are able to buy electricity credit on their phones. It doesn't matter whether the lights go off at the time that they are sleeping or in the night or during rains. And by doing so, you solve an economic problem with an economic solution underpinned by digitization or digital technology, and your growth also comes. There are those who also ask the question of the relationship between digitization and cost of credit. And I know businesses in Ghana are so much concerned about how much they are borrowing, because if the cost of credit is high, it also has consequences on the prices of goods and services that we meet on the market. We have had years of life in Ghana where the identity and traceability of people have remained problematic. This has imposed huge risk on borrowers, hence the higher risk premium placed when people seek bank loans. We are addressing this problem with the National ID and Digital Property Address System. Once the integration of the National ID and the banking databases is ready, banks will have trust and confidence in borrowers' identity and traceability. This will obviously bring down the cost of credit. So oftentimes people ask, why is it that in Ghana when you borrow, the interest is so high? But we have not sat down as a country to think about how we can get the cost of credit down. If you ask the bankers, apart from the balance sheet issues that imposes some element of cost in the price build-up on the interest rates, one key thing that is affecting us in accessing cheaper credit is the risk premium that the banks place on borrowers. Because the bank is unsure of your traceability and identity, it's not so sure that the light bill or the water bill that you are bringing to him or her at the bank to indicate that this is where you live, the bank places so much risk on you. And that risk premium is the cost of borrowing. And so if you borrow and the cost should be 5%, because of the risk premium on you, they can say, let's make it 10%, because they are not sure whether you run away or you not run away, and whether or not when you run away, they can trace you and identify you. This is a huge problem, and it is a problem that has existed with us for so many years. We have not had any solutions to this problem. What this government has decided to do, based on our experiences, our knowledge, and everything, we decided that let us get a digital property addressing system in place that brings some assurance to lenders on our traceability. Let's get a national ID card in place that brings some assurance to lenders on our identity. And once we are able to integrate these technology solutions with the databases of the banks, it becomes easier, and it brings some assurance to the lenders that indeed, when this person borrows from me, I'm sure and certain of the identity, I'm sure and certain of the traceability of the person, and therefore they will bring down the cost of borrowing. through the risk premium. So that is how digitization is solving economic problems for us by making sure we get lower cost of credit. Ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude and take your questions by saying that we have had decades of systems that are either malfunctioned, regressive, inefficient, and not fit for modern day living. It has taken political will on the part of government to put these systems in place. The status quo benefits the few to the detriment of the many. Furthermore, there is little immediate political benefit from implementing these innovations. It takes some time for the full benefits of digitalization to become obvious to many and manifest in our lives. Politicians generally cannot afford to wait. The infrastructure we have put in place for digitalization is soft infrastructure. It is not like a road or a bridge you can point to, but it is powerful and expanded highway for development. The digitization agenda we have put in place is what is making it easy and simple to renew your national health insurance membership without having to travel to join long queues and pay bribes. It is what is making it possible for you to check whether or not the car you want to buy is insured. It is what is making it possible for you to buy for your electricity units irrespective of your location or time of the day. It is what is making it possible, and when all this is ramped up, the e-pharmacy is done, will afford you the chance to find which pharmacy has your prescribed drug and whether it is FDA approved or not with ease. It is what is making it possible for all, particularly rural settlers, to apply for government scholarship and receive same without traveling to Accra. It is what is making it possible for taxi and Okada riders to pick any customer and receive payments irrespective of the telecommunication company they have their mobile accounts with. So if you look at all that we are doing, we are making life easy and simple for people. And what we are doing is for the benefit of everybody, particularly the rural folks, the poor and the impoverished. Come to think of it, before we made scholarship application online, if you had to apply for scholarship after school and you lived in, say, Tumu, you had to travel all the way to Accra to pick scholarship application forms. A young graduate, a young senior high school graduate, what work do you have to do? You don't have any work, you don't have any money. You have to labor for months to get lorry fare to come to Accra, pick forms and go back to your town without even the assurance that you get the scholarship. Today, we've made it easy and simpler for people, for poor people, for people who do not have connections to apply for scholarship online. They are able to write their aptitude test online. They are able to get their assessments done online. They go for interviews within their districts and they assess or receive scholarships there and then without having to travel to Accra. This is how we're making life simple and easy for people. We're making life simple and easy for people who hitherto had to go and join long queues to renew their national health insurance membership. If you lived in a village, you had to take car and travel to the district capital to renew your national health insurance membership. You go there, you register, people extort money from you, and it takes like 3 to 4 months before you get the renewal done. In between the time that you did the registration to the time that the renewal is done, when you are sick as a poor person, you have to pay cash. Otherwise, you could not access health facility. We have perfect solution to this economic problem by using digital technology. Today, with the mobile app, we've made it easy for you to dial *929# and renew your national health insurance membership on your phone. This is how we are making life easy for people. This is how we are making sure that Ghanaians feel proud as Ghanaians and they know they are benefiting from the system and the government that they have created for themselves. I thank you very much and God bless you. I'll take your questions. enti
Asempa FM.
deɛ
Asempa
meka
FM.
awie ɛne mo nkita ho deɛ ne sɛ wohwɛ ɛnɔma a yɛwura Akufo-Addo aban ɛyɛ ɛwɔ abɛɛfo kwan so a yɛbɛka ne sɛ digitalization ɛne digitalization a yɛpɛ sɛ yɛyɛ nnɔma a ɛbɛma ɔmanfoɔ ɛho ahare ɔmo na adeɛ biara a ɔmo pɛ sɛ ɔmo yɛ no ɔmo bɛtumi ayɛ ntɛntɛm so na afei nso ɔmo ntuatua sika ɛmobɔ ka bebree na saa nnɔma a yɛyɛ nyinaa no yɛ nnɔma a sɛ woyɛ aban na wo se wo deɛ abatoɔ ho adwene nko ara na wowɔ na wonhyɛ da nwene ɔmanfoɔ no yie die ho a womfa w'adwene nkɔ so ɛsiane sɛ nnɔma no a yɛyɛ no bebree no ɛnyɛ nnɔma a wode w'ani bɛhu na sɛ ɛyɛ dan anaasɛ ɛyɛ kwan anaasɛ afidie bi ne yɛato asi hɔ na waka sɛ aban no ayɛ adeɛ anaasɛ wɔnyɛ adeɛ nanso ɛyɛ nnɔma a ɛno ne fapem a ɛsɛ sɛ yɛsie na yɛde ma ɔman Ghana ɛma ɔman no ɛtumi tu mpɔn daakye deɛ yɛ nyinaa no sɛ yɛhwɛ ɛbɛma asetena pa aba yɛhwɛ sɛ hiani ba anaasɛ mmɔborɔwani ba kuani ba a sɛbe ɔte n'afuom anaasɛ wɔ ne kuro ketewa bi mu na ɔpɛ sɛ wɔnya aban sika ɛde kɔ school meka scholarship no yɛma ne boɔ ɛma ma yɛ den ma ne sɛ wɔanya ka sika amfiri baabi a wɔte ama nkran a mɛtɔ fam so a ɔntumi nya scholarship ne bi nko yɛafa abɛɛfo kwan so ayɛ nhyehyɛeɛ sɛ scholarship application no ɛmfa ho ne baabi a wɔte ɛmfa ho ne abusua a yɛwɔ tum no sɛ wowɔ mobile phone anaasɛ computer nko adeɛ a wokɔ so a wotumi apply for scholarship ne bi wotumi twerɛ wo nsɔhwɛ wɔ so na yɛayɛ assessment ne wɔ so na yɛma scholarship ne bi baabi a wote wɔabrɛ a wontutu anammɔn ɛma nkran ansa na wo nsa aka scholarship no yɛama abrabɔ no ɛkɔ yie ma amanfoɔ sɛ edwadie bɛtumi akɔ soɔ sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ a sɛ obi atɔ wadeɛ anaasɛ wayɛ adwuma ma obi na bosome aso ɛsɛ sɛ wɔtua wo ka a wobɛtumi atua wo ka ntɛntɛm na wo nso de ayɛ adwuma ama ɛso aba mfaso ama wo fa ne sɛ wode wo nuanom moyɛ laborafoɔ ɛwɔ ɔpanin bi a wɔsi ne dan ɛwɔ nkran ha na mo ne sɛ moyɛ adwuma ma ɔpanin no bosome so a ɛwɔ sɛ wɔtua mo ka ɛdi bosome no paa mu ɛkɔɔ bɛyɛ sɛ da ɛtɔ so aduonu num ɛne yɛkaa sɛ ɔpanin no ne maame yare nti wafa ka ɛkɔ sirem okoduru sirem no yɛsɛ maame no yare yɛ emu ayɛ den nti so di na ɔtwe mmiɛnsa wɔ hɔ ansa na waba na ɔtwe mmiɛnsa no bɛba no na bosome naso ama ɛkɔ ɛtra na ɔtwe mmienu nyɛ saa ɔpanin no nso nim sɛ wo a wɔyɛ n'adwuma no woni bank account eti kwan bia no hɔ obetumi afa so asɛnde wakatua ɛde ama wo gye sɛ waba nkran ha ansa na watua wo ka yɛn nso adwuma yɛyɛ yɛbosom yakatua no ɛdaka so yɛfɛ wura akora ɛbɔ yɛ promo esan sɛ bosom yɛ aso nanso nipa na wɔyɛ adwuma ama no no esan sɛ wakɔdi srem na wɔni nkran ha na wɔn nso woni bank account nti ontimi ntua wo ka saa abrɛ no na ɛde ahokyerɛ ɛne ɔhaw ɛna ɛbɛto abusua so ɛnna a yɛde mobile money interoperability baeɛ no sɛ woyɛ adwuma ma obi mpo na ɛbrɛ so sɛ wɔtua wo ka na wɔni wo nkyɛn na wɔtu kwan akɔdi baabi koraa na otumi fa ne mobile phone ɛprɛko pɛ na wasɛnde sika no na wɔde abrɛw na wɔn nso ade a wɔpɛ sɛ wɔde sika no yɛ na wɔde ayɛ dɛ na wɔde ayɛ yɛyɛ saa na yɛma nipa asetena mu etu mpɔn economics biara ni hɔ a ɛsene sɛ wɔyɛ nhyehyɛeɛ ama nipa asetena mu ayɛ dɛ ɛtumi atu mpɔn nti kwani a ɔmampani Akufo-Addo ɛne na bɛdi akyire Bawumia ne na pamfo ɛfa so ayɛ nhyehyɛeɛ ama ɔmanfoɔ ho atɔ ɔmo no baako no ebinom koraa busa kosa bi sɛ na digitalization amokan ɛso mfa so paa yɛwɔ ɛne sɛ yɛpɛ adwuma yɛ a wɔsɛ digitalization etika adwuma ho asɛm na yɛmu sɛ yɛn ho sɛ ɛna abɛɛfo kwan a yɛwɔ mu yi ɛbɛyɛ den ɛna wɔnyɛ adwuma ayɛ ɛnɛ digitalization aboa ama mmeranteɛ ne mmabawa bebree ɛnyɛ adwuma ayɛ a ɔman sɛ sika ankɔbɔ kansa na ɔmo nya saa adwuma no ayɛ ɛnɛ ababawa wawie suapɔn anaasɛ wawie JSS na sɛ bisika ni fi de bɛtoa no so no wɔnya adwuma bia no ɛnam abɛɛfo social media Instagram ne Facebook yɛ abanti no otimi tena Instagram na wahyehyɛ noma kakra bi ɛwɔ ne dɛm anaasɛ ne dormitory na wɔtwitwa ho mfonyini na ɔde agu abɛɛfo Instagram ne Facebook so na obi ehu na wakasa me pesa ade no ɛno nso wɔ abɛɛfo kwan so na nipa korɔ no de mobile money payments interoperability no atua ne ka na nipa korɔ no afrɛ motor rider bi na wɔkada ni na ba na ɔbɛgye ade no na ɔde kɔ etu hu ne sɛ saa ade no ama nipa na otwitwa mfonyini ne gu Instagram no wɔnyɛ adwuma a wɔyɛ motor rider no nso anase Uber driver no nso ayɛ dɛn ɛnyɛ adwuma a wɔyɛ eti digitalization no kwan a ɛfa so create adwuma no ɛyɛ buburuja ɛboa ama nkrɔfo adwuma atimatum pɔn no na ɔmo nso ɛba yɛ adwuma nim ama adwuma no kɔ so na adwuma no kɔ so nso a na ɔmo nso afa nipa ebinom nso kora busa question bi sɛ ɔman no yɛ sika sidi na hoɔden ɛna mmerɛ bi a ɛkɔ fam eti ɛsɛsɛ no na moka ho asɛm na ɛka a ɛmene yɛ no moka ho asɛm na afei nso yɛkɔ dwuma a ɛnom aboa yɛ den ɛsɛsɛ no na moka ho asɛm ɛnyɛ digitalization nanso mepɛ sɛ mekyerɛw ayɔnkofa digitalization ɛne abɛɛfo kwan a ɛfa so yɛ nnɔma no ɛwɔ ɛne ɛnom aboa ayɛ den wɔ dwom ɛka a ɛmene yɛ ɛne yɛ sika a na hoɔde kɔ fam no ɛwɔ sɛ si a yɛte ɔman mu ha sika a yɛgyegye ɔman mu ha sɛ toɔ ɛnɔɔso ɛnkɔ baabi a ntimi nso yɛ akɔhomabɔ ɛno nti ɛna aban ɛtena ɛpo na wɔkɔ amanɔne kɔkɔbɔ bosia aban kɔbɔ bosia na ɔbɔ no kwasi broni sika mu na ɔde aba Ghana na nsi ho asan yɛ dɛn aka ho ɛbrɛ no so sɛ ɛsesa aban tua saa bosia na aban sesa ɔman Ghana cedi na ɔde akɔtɔ kwasi broni dollars na ɔde akɔ akɔtua ɛmpɛndodo a wɔsesa cedis bebree na ɔde akɔtɔ dollar ketewa bi no hu sɛ dollar na hoɔden ɛkɔ soro ɛkyɛn wɔ cedis no ɛsan sɛ wo cedi na hoɔden so akɔ fam ti no ama nnɔma a wɔkra firi amanɔne ba no ne boa yɛ den san sɛ obi kɔ China anaasɛ Dubai a ɔbɛsesa cedis bebree na ɔde akɔ akɔtɔ nnɔma kakra bi na ɔde aba ɛsan sɛ nnɔma no a wɔkra ba ne boa yɛ den na nnɔma a yɛkra ba Ghana nso dɔɔso no wobɛnsa nipa ne bɛduru a na wakyekyɛ ɛboɔ no a wɔnyɛ anaboɔden no agu nnɔma a yɛn nso yɛkɔ dwom a yɛkɔkɔtɔ no so eti wɔn sɛ yɛsika na hoɔden kɔ fam nnɔma a yɛkɔ dwom kɔtɔ nso ɛkɔ soro yɛbosi a yɛbɔ nso ɛkɔ soro yɛbusa yɛ ho sɛ adeɛ wɔ nyinaa fapem ɛyɛ bosi a yɛbɔ na manɔne deɛ a kwan bɛn ne yɛbɛfa so a ɔman Ghana bosi a yɛbɔ na manɔne no yɛbɛte so ɛno na ɛsɛ sɛ yɛbusa yɛ ho asɛm nkyerɛmu a ɛwɔ mu ɛne adwen foforɔ a President Kufuor aban no de ba ne sɛ yɛmpɛ sɛ yɛbɔ bosi a bebree deɛ a ɛwɔ sɛ toɔ no a yɛgyegye wɔ Ghana ha no yɛma toɔ no timi yɛ dɛn ɛkɔ soro na wopɛ sɛ ɛtoɔ kɔ soro a wontumi mfa ɛtoɔ bebree ebegu nipa kakra bi na ɔmotua no so ɛwɔ sɛ ɔpɛ kwan bi a wobɛbae ama emu atre na nipa dodoɔ na atima yɛ den atua toɔ sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ a nipa dodoɔ tua na yɛ tɛku anaasɛ sempompo a yɛka bom a na amato no ayɛ den ayɛ bebree kwan bɛn na yɛmfa so mban mu obroni ka ne sɛ broaden the tax base anaasɛ tax net no ɛnte sɛ baalu ana kwadwo mɛ saa so benkum na yɛ ama anu aso nifa ne atwe mu na emu aba dabi ɛwɔ sɛ oyɛ nhyehyɛeɛ gu akwan so a ɛbɛba kwan ama nipa dodoɔ no atimatua atoɔ ansa na yɛbɛyɛ national ID card no na Ghanafoɔ a ɔmo timi ɛfile ɔmo taxes a ɔmo wɔ tax identification number ɛyɛ wɔ ha mu nkyekyɛmu ɛnan pɛ na wowɔ ɔman a mo dodoɔ yɛ bɛyɛ sɛ million aduasa na emu wɔ ha mu nkyekyɛmu nan pɛ ɛna wobɛtumi atua ɛtoɔ de ama aman a ɛmfa ho ne toɔ no sɛnea wobɛsi ama ne boa yɛ den biara no sika na obɛgye no mpo entimi nya dɛn ɛnkɔ baabi a ti President Kufuor aban yɛ sɛ yɛmfa technology ɛne digitalization ɛmmra sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ nipa dodo a etua toɔ no ɔmo mu bɛtumi ayɛ dɛn atrɛ kwan bɛn na yɛfa so a yɛyɛ saa deɛ yɛyɛ national ID ti yɛyɛ national ID no Ghanafoɔ dodoɔ na ɛna ɛkɔtwerɛ ɔmo din nipa pepe edunum ɛne akyiripɔ apem ahanson 15.7 million prekopa na yɛyɛ saa national ID no na yɛ integrate with the tax identification number na yɛma wɔ tax identification number ɛbɛyɛ wɔ national ID number no yɛatra nipa dodo a ɔmo bɛtumi atua toɔ no mu afi wɔ ha mu nkyekyɛmu 9 akɔsi wɔ ha mu nkyekyɛmu aduɔwɔtwe nsia from 4% of people with tax identification numbers to 86%. Eti prekopa no sɛ yɛbɔ tontonsansan mu sɛ obi akɔ faale ne tax a wobɛnya nipa dodoɔ na no mayɛ dɛn ɔmo akɔ faale edi sɛ toɔ no ɛyɛ ketewa bi mpa na ama sika na yɛde adɔɔso ɛsan sɛ sika na yɛnya ɔman no mu ɛtoɔ ɛkwan so no adɔɔso nti no ɛbɛba bosia a yɛkɔ akɔbɔ amɔne no nso ayɛde aba fam yɛmma bosia bebree na bosia ne ba fam no so no ɛma yɛn sesa cities bebree ɛmfa nkotua kwasi broni bosia yɛabɔ no yɛde ɛka na aba yɛ sidi na hoɔden ayɛde ɛgyina osidi na hoɔden gyina no na nnoma akɔtɔ firi amɔne nso ne boɔ no yɛde ɛkɔ fam ɛnoma akɔtɔ firi amɔne ne boɔ no ɛkɔ fam no na ɛnoma ɛwɔ dwom so boɔ nso yɛde ɛkɔ fam to so bi pɛ sɛ wɔte kwane a digitalization ɛma inflation ɛba fam ɛma nnoma totɔ yie ma Ghanafoɔ a nkyɛmu a ɛwɔ hɔ no wɔn ka sɛ wɔn nte aseɛ te sɛ yɛn nuanom NDC foɔ no wɔn nte aseɛ so da na ɛno nso na ɛkyerɛ sɛ wɔn ni saa ahoɔden a yɛtim de bu maa no ɛsan sɛ tikasi a ɛwe adwe ɛtumi te nɔɔma ase ɛde ho solution ɛba sei no wɔn ni saa solution yi bi adeɛ baako bi nso a yɛde digitalization ɛyɛ ɛboa ɔman Ghana paa ɛyɛ deɛ nkurɔfoɔ bɛka sɛ yɛkɔ bank ne yɛkɔ akɔbɔ bosia a ɛyɛ ana ne boɔ ɛyɛ dɛ ɛyɛ de yɛfiri aseɛ kaa saa asɛm na meyɛ abɔfra ketekete ɛfiri ɔsadwefo Kwame Nkrumah pɛn so ɛne yɛse Ghana deɛ wokɔbɔ bosia a nsiho no yɛ dɛn ɛwɔ soro nanso obiara ntena ase ɛmusa sɛ ɛbɛyɛ dɛn ɛna mekɔ bank akɔbɔ bosia a nsiho no bɛyɛ dɛn ɛbɛfa fam sɛbio sɛ President Kufuor ane Ghana asɔfoɔ ɛne ahemfo nyinaa kɔgyina bank manager nim ɛde tuo si ne so koraa sɛ ma bosia si homra fam a ɔma no nyɛ dɛn ɛma fam ɛwɔ sɛ wototo fapem bi wɔ wo man ne mu a bɛma bankfoɔ no adwuma a moyɛ no akɔ yi ama wɔn ansa na bosia si ho no ayɛ dɛn aba fam deɛ nti a menu mmienu yɛkɔgye bosia a esi ho no timi ba soro baako paa ne sɛ bankfoɔ no anyi yɛ ni etu wɔn de ho kɛseɛ ɛna to yɛ so kwasi broni ka ne sɛ risk premium ehu na wɔn de to so no nyinaa firi sɛ wokɔ bank akɔgye bosia no baabi a wote yɛ pɔtee ankasa no ɛyɛ suspect eti yɛkɔ a ne yɛkɔfa water bill ne yɛkɔfa light bill ne yɛde kɔ ɛnyɛ saa ne yɛyɛ no na water bill ne light bill deɛ obi atumi kɔ yi obi deɛ na wɔde akɔ bank hɔ eti wo deɛ no kɔ a bank manager ne nyi ni sɛ ampa baabi a wɔsɛ wote no ɛhɔ na woyɛ dɛn woteɛ deɛ tɔ so bio wankasa a wogyina hɔ no wo nipadua no ɛne hwan Ghana ha wobɛtumi akye aberanteɛ bi agyina hɔ wobɛbie ne wallet mu no ID cards bɛsɛ nsia ɛne wɔ deɛ he na bank no wɔmfa nyɛ dɛn ɛnyɛ adwuma ɛmu deɛ he paa na ɛwɔ akwaa bi wɔ wo ho a kyerɛ sɛ ɔkyena yɛkyew ne yɛde wo nsa koraa to afidie so a ɛbɛm yi wo ho biribi aba a ɛkyerɛ sɛ yɛwo a adanse yɛwɔ so ayɛ wo din ɛwɔ so ɛne wo mfonyini ɛwɔ so sɛbi mfonyini so deɛ obi atumi fa obi mfonyini ɛkɔyɛ ade foforɔ anaa meboa obi also tumi fa obi din ɛkɔyɛ ade foforɔ nanso fingerprint ɛne yɛ iris deɛ kwasi broni sɛ obi adeɛ yɛ dɛn ɛyɛ sonko eti na wɔsi yɛ pɛ kwan bi so a yɛbɛyɛ national identity system a ɛbɛma ahotɔsoɔ ɛne confidence aba system no mu ɛno nti deɛ kɔfa a digital property address system ɛbaeɛ eti wokɔyɛ wo national wo Ghana card no yɛgye wo digital address eti Ghana card na bɛyɛ one source document a gyidie mapa ɛna ɛba bɛbɛm na yɛ link with all the bank's databases yɛyɛ saa deɛ ne wie a ɛbɛma bankfoɔ nya ahotɔsoɔ sɛ ampa nipa asomɛsɛ ɔbɛgye bosia wɔde Ghana card baeɛ no information ɛwɔ soɔ ɛne nsɛmfo ɛwɔ so ne nyinaa yɛ ade a Ghana ha nyinaa yɛagye atom na gyidie mapa wɔ mu na baabi a wɔteɛ nso ɛyɛ rest assured eti na saa ehu a yɛfɛ no risk premium na bank de bɛtoo so eti bosia si ho no ɛsɛ yɛ wɔ ha mu nkyekyɛmu du a na wɔyɛ no wɔ ha mu nkyekyɛmu aduonu no ɔbɛma na yɛ dɛ aba fam ɔyɛ ne saa esan sɛ sɛ yɛ wɔ ha mu nkyekyɛmu du na wɔyɛ no wɔ ha mu nkyekyɛmu aduonu na wogye bosia no na wotua bosom nsia na wodwane mpa a wode ofiri sɛ wotua bosom nsia na wadwane o nanso afe baako deɛ na wɔyɛ dɛ watua ne sansa bosom nsia deɛ na wotua no wɔhyɛ da de bɔ ho ɛna de ma a wosansa na wɔnye wo ni saa na kwasi broni krom wɔayɛ no a eti wokɔ kwasi broni krom na akɔpɛ bosia a na ne nsi ho no yɛ dɛ ɛwɔ fam na nsa ne nɛ sɛ mohwɛ BBC a the governor of the Bank of England ɛyɛ press conference a wɔyɛ ne nyinaa ne sɛ na English abrochimamufoɔ esuro sanhwɛ a ɔmo bɛto bosia esi ho mu ama akɔ anim na wo ne bosia esi ho no a ɔmo so sɛ ɛbɛtumi akɔ so no ɛyɛ 0.1% 0.1% ne kora no ɔmo mpɛ sɛ ɛbɛsa yɛ dɛ akɔ soro bio na sɛbe bɔne bɛ na Ghana foɔ ayɛ ne yɛte yɛ man mu ne yɛkɔpɔ bosia ne yɛtua wɔ ha mu nkyekyɛmu aduonu Wahamu nchichemu aduonu baako. Adwuma bɛn nko a na ɔbɛyɛ a wɔde bɛtua saa abosia no sikabote asa tua ho nsi ho ansa na wanya mfasoɔ. Enti asɛsɛ yɛ fa kwan foforɔ bi so a yɛbɛtoto nɔɔma ama saa problems ne nyinaa yɛ de akɔ fam. Saa kwan no ana nyame nkyade yɛwura Kufuor ne naban ehunu a mo pɛ sɛ mo toto saa nɔɔma no. Na sɛ nyɛ technology na wode bɛyɛ saa deɛ na wontimi nyɛ ɛno nti na yɛyɛ digitalization no. 2% who digitization no and the economic development and the economy and the macroeconomy no send a city saying it here. 2 was anti say way no be catch was say Baumia or your economists and our economists at home and our digitization no catch any across me ferro pa na kaso me catch no e kanya some papa sansa won tia de na ye de won tia se your person Ghana 40 ase said the modern day economic development no underpinned by the 4th industrial revolution. What did technology free man? We be behind Timinia day, enye ye. It's yet they are far to your hostel. Sir, ye beye, the boy in Chirima. Name mum ye the Bema ya winning the next election. President Kufuor is concerned about the next generation and not just the next election. And Nunti and I want to talk a normal. Ebetima boa ama Ghana for ho hire omo ebetima boa ama nkrofo adwuma tima tumpon ebetima boa ama obi bia tim de nensase de bosa ampa oman Ghana bitimu no me proud as a Ghanaian isansa no ma me tukwan kokwase bodi kro so a me hu bie no me ba Ghana hanso a me hu saa no ma ne bi abrochire aba Ghana entotoye na yeye ne sesei na menim sa beboa yenyina hanso ama oman tumpon medamase.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Gideon Buako. He has done the presentation.
Asempa, Asempa FM station bakupe Asempa, wo fie Asempa, wo jumemu Asempa, baby wo biara. Asempa FM 94.7 you want some money.
Jack 1xBet app now Bama Android ne iPhone users now not betting na ye Coco Crown. Who should games I won't break who to be both virtuals sound so bet ya who told me 10 so 1xBet I'm not betting na ye dead.
Ekosiisen On Asempa FM.
The 1xBet app no on website so 1xBet.com.g. If you so why I na will be our account no kinda use the promo code Radio GH 1xBet. That's be our hobby. Gambling one true to channel wa she ye ma wa
Asempa FM.
Commissioner Jinka to we atum.
Some kakra.
Let's go to Ghana. Hey! Go and
Drama dear. Bebre.
I have a lot of uncles. My father has a lot of brothers, and my father's brothers have cousins.
I am Shishian Suwo.
Your uncle is not supposed to be touching you like that.
Anio, Ghana Jollof, your brand new series here, Showmax Diaba. Asrisamon Kwa. Basket Mouth, ni Jocelyn Duma Womu. Showmax at the Bramo Shish. Ghana Jollof for Showmax Wiki Bia. Signing up for Showmax.com and
Hey, it's me pan and me kita mi amike. Ecobank me damase.
Shy, cow and yo.
Oh say Ecobank, ye cruisy.
Monso bet me cruise wo wankasa wokem. Esane Ecobank auto finance package nti. Koyen cardless ahodo PI no onye adwuma ba bia. Ye ka da wakoma so. Say ye new car, say ye second hand. Ehwa ye mouse special discount. Ecobank sa den hihye pa be boa mo atua ka no kanyina. Ye mount interest rate ani boa from cry, ebebri mu ani so. Oh, so when your accounts work bank money how cry. Sa kwenye ye da ho mo bia. Enti enso sa ka no ho da keke. Abebu awie. Preto free 0800 003 225. Anasa ko Ecobank nkura bata be bia na busa Ecobank auto finance package. Ehihye kakra wo ho. Ecobank, the Pan-African Bank.
Eye cashback Red Friday. Any enuja enne e wo compute Ghana. Ani o ma papa ya tete so no. Ya sign ehwan so amount. Shen na wenyi wo ho amfiri mu. Bo owura Compute Ghana enkrabata ahodo bia a ewo Ghana ha afa ne nyina yatete nioma pa ne nyina so every LG Samsung Tecno Bluetech Senko ne ne yekeka home bebre eni ye endidwa ewo www.computeghana.com ana download ye app no sesia ewo Android
Asempa FM
akwenya wudi benya achede sronko frayen ewo 03070700701 ana WhatsApp yen ewo 0243143143 Compute Ghana, passion for technology.
No matter what you're going through.
Coach, when him say me ba Romeo yare, me testing no malaria no. Or you positive, enti want to me cry.
Sir, try me na me ba. My branche, won't mommy buy malaria. I am malaria drono.
By malaria?
Yes, by malaria. Kudos Pharmaceutical Limited and the diaba. Esai Artimeta and Lumifantro Womuntino. A boa etu malaria na symptom. Nenum anyaya na a ye juma symptom.
Wow, shesa was sorry. Romeo, beti me akwa taekwondo training ene. Ani mami.
Semi kacho.
Ewo pharmacy BM.
By malaria dro, ya wonkara die and penifon so die. Etufo Kudos Pharmaceutical Limited. Our 0596081168.
By malaria, FD ya shoshema jia tumu se ye.
I just got myself a new TV. Wanna watch football or new series. HD plastic code are there for me. I see I'm clear, crystal clear, quality pictures you can't compare. Feely, 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 how you do see I'm feely, 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 how you do see I'm feely, feely.
HD Plus here, too many crowd who to miss search for so reverse. As I record this show, I will need Jehopa. Say so download my HD Plus or mobile devices. So now we'll link to my HD Plus decoder noa. Busumi bia, we have free data. Now they are shit TV or baby will bia. Commodity TV dealer bia and chain and I electoral and crabata bia. Monaco HD Plus decoder. A 99 CDs, 99 pesos a pair. Nenya with TV no so to me yet bia. HD Plus, enjoy the feely.
Jack, 1xBet app now Bama Android ne iPhone users. Now not betting aye Coco Crown. Who share games I won't break. Who to me both virtuals. Sound so betty who to me 10 times so. 1xBet I'm not betting aye dead don't do. To me gonna go download the 1xBet app no on my website so 1xBet.com.g. If you to Wi-Fi now we be our account now. Kinda use the promo code Radio GH. 1xBet. That's be our hobby. Gambling one true to try to wash a year. Yeah, man, what would be if you do what? Gaming Commissioner Jim Kato way out.
So what for day now kanya utumi luzu bibia bi enu nti na Edu Motors ewo ho wo ka ya dada uni sika pudu adbeto foforo ko Edu Motors ono be yen hyehyɛ ama o ka foforo for driver's license 2 passport pictures and 2 guarantors omuni wachi enko Edu Motors netua 10% of car na openebo why ka o na wie ni aka no obetua no small Edu Motors dia ho to aba insurance no obetua ma free na se we engine no kra say a omo ba ko asem free to amika ko ye head office ewo Kaswa Widiba Road Barrier Junction baby awa na howa me pacho G number we ne frɛ je betche Edu Motors branch e be wo no akwaje wo ka
0575 047 303 ana 0550 342 562
Edu Motors, your light has car.
Hey, it's me pan and me kita Miami K. Ecobank, me damase.
Shy, cow than you.
Oh, say Ecobank, yeah, cruising.
Once you bet me a cruise, you one casa okay. Esani Ecobank Auto Finance Packaging T. Koyen car dealers are who do PI no one year Juma baby. Ye ka dawa kumaso. Say a new car, say yes second hand. Why your mouse special discounts. Ecobank side and she share pabe boa with your car no kenina. Your mouse interest rate and you boa from cry. Ebe bring when so. Oh, so when your accounts work Ecobank and money how cry. Sa kwenye ye da homo bia. Entien so sa ka no ho da ekeke. Abebwe wie. Preto free 0800 003 225. Anasa kwa Ecobank nkrabata bebia nebusa Ecobank Auto Finance Package. Eshishe kakra wo ho. Ecobank, the Pan-African Bank.
Hey, lala Didi lala. What worry has so dear? Na me dear yemia. Africa Queen Mackerel bonnet juma was sign. Africa Queen Mackerel leader what ya see unia. So the year Jania. E danson. To me tomato sauce na egu ho no so rich. Yes. A piece of wo. Nti e me aduane ne dey strong kon.
Enam no so hye mu ma. Na me kire se nam pa nko a.
Wa wo beti ase. Na wo be checking so. E grade 1 o.
Na me say me twa kwa me nkwan. Na me tu bi gu mu a. Ato ne term so. Honey, oba papa. Oh you ma. Me jo.
Me say jollof, Gary photo, rice and stew. And piscine gravy dey. Africa Queen mackerel ni mo. Nti me nyina o. Africa Queen mackerel. Shawenum keke. Nam papa no.
Africa Queen. Shawenum keke.
Enyo.
Honey. It's office unko na wonim Aquataps food safe na. Salad ni nuaba odi ne debia no. Aquatap food safe. Na medoro wo ho. Asa na wedio.
Omo san so Aquataps water purification tablets. Omo a omo de ebulu mu nsuo, efom nsuo, suru nsuo, ene nsuo a ehwo nte e de ye wonda ada adwuma a emfa ohaw bia embre. Osan kwada yisu mapomudin so ehia ye pa. Eno nti na mato Aquataps surface disinfectant. Yetime de paper surfaces bia ema ehwo te. No nti hotels, restaurants, hospitals, sachet water manufacturers. Ene fiefie mu Aquataps abama mo say ebejen etufon frɛ Health Top Up Services Limited. Ewo 050-169-4275 Kumasi ana 020-907-7726 Accra ana 024-459-3381 Koforidua. Ubenya Aquataps wo pharmacies, drugstores and supermarkets. FDA agi edwade nkratu yi atum.
Hey, you're the up and coming landlord. Who died yes where you?
Kwame, I don't mean you. Aka roofing and a ceiling. Na me contract anon so say. Me feni na enko dan rocksters. Won so wo kromo pa. Wo dwen ho sen.
The contract and won nimnia ko. Ghana had here a ban quality metal trusses, roofing sheets, plasterboard and a POP ceiling dia. Aya rocksters. Enfie be brain in a rocksters. Adi roofing sheet papa and ho aka dia. Asum Ghana for.
Enka yesi ya no mu die nso ebo.
Eni adufudi achi na nkotwa de bon ne Sundachi. Fre 0544-338041. Say metal trusses, roofing sheet, plasterboard and a POP cylinder. Fre rocksters na won chawuntum.
Ensuo mankwa. Ensuo yemkwa. Nom Awake purified drinking water. Abujun swa eye kroje. Ensuo ne ma wa hodede tena ho abribia. Kai se Awake bottle ba ku bi a wo beto no. Ye yi sika kakra de kon National Cardiothoracic Center. Awake purified drinking water. One for life.
For bulk purchase, contact 0262 351 251.
Enkratoi FD ahwehwemagia tumse eye.
FM Asempa FM.
Anytime I feel lonely, feeling sad, only one station makes me happy. When I wake up in the morning,
Asempa FM.
only this station makes my day. Yeah. Oh, Asempa, Asempa, Asempa FM. Asempa, Asempa, Asempa FM. Oh, Asempa, Asempa, Asempa FM.
Ekosiisen On Asempa FM.
Asempa, Asempa, Asempa FM.
94.7 Asempa FM. So near Ekosiisen Jumedi no asugusu awuti enti just gone by was the NPP's press conference. I do am every Friday into Dr. Gideon Boakon and or address a press conference no. You better must my train ya may call assign so ababio midin your say bonsu or my hene kwabana santo or higher day will wrap up on me here some segment na fe discussion segment and so etumi atwa moso but mamimfa we entwem enne ekukudamfo bi edi wona woda I was say hwebo wona baso papa omumu baako ene Chairman Kojo Boaten Ajeman. Chairman Kojo Boaten Ajeman. No, Chairman, we too much. And this one says, happy birthday to a truly magnificent leader. Your leadership is second to none and so very inspirational. May your birthday bless you with all the courage and strength you require to continue performing your role as outstandingly as you do. Happy birthday, Chairman Kwejo Boaten Ajeman, the NPP constituency chairman for the new job in North constituency in Koforidua. And one of our regular panelists on the Wednesday panel, Chairman Kwejo Boaten Ajeman, and November born, and the 5th of November. And the chairman, happy birthday to you and live to be 94.7 and beyond. We say, Obi, good afternoon. You're really doing a good job. My regards to Honorable Frank Anodompre. He's really doing a great job for the people of Insawi Madwejiri. Today marks day 5 of his free screening exercise in the constituency. Dompreba Kwame. And Odiwe Abraying. This one says, I'm heartily overwhelmed by the succinct delivery of Dr. Gideon Boako. Indeed, Adrian Kessier is at play here. I hope the theatrics and propaganda of the NDC will cease henceforth. Let's, as a nation, encourage such intellectual deliberations to find what's good for our development going forward. Kudos to Dr. Baumia for shaking this intellectual discussion table. Indeed, Ghana, Yawadza Oye, Farouk is in Tema, Nedie Eni. Obi, a glorious birthday in advance to Mrs. Evelyn Asare inside Nungwa. Have a blessed month, Mrs. Masterpiece in London. And then so the birthday of a true great. A true great of the land. Abedi Ayew Pele. 3-time African Footballer of the Year. Abedi Ayew Pele. And then I would a happy birthday to you, Maestro. And live to be 94.7 and beyond. Sounds so Enna, the only professor in Ghana football. Professor or your coach? It can only take Kumasi Asante Kodo. The Kotoko coach. Professor, they didn't quite a Prosper Ogum. Tete Ogum. And then I would a happy birthday to you. In your Sunday, I am sure it will be the icing on the cake for you. Kotokobeshe Bechim United na the perfect birthday present for you. In the happy birthday to you, Professor Prosper Ogum, coach of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Obi, in both the US and the UK, the deregulation is also being applied there. Fuel can be increased in the morning and can be reduced in the evening of the same day. But in Ghana here, when the regulation compels the fuel stations to reduce the prices, they don't want to comply. But if the regulation allows them to increase, they are quick to do that. Clement Boaten, first vice chairman of Guta, and Odenedie Abraying. Good afternoon, Obi. The lawlessness in this country is too much. Our Muslim brothers, are they above the law in the country? They can create traffic whenever they are going to bury a dead body. I think the IGP must get up and do something about it. Right now at East Legon, it was not easy. Why? Geoffrey Ewo Adentan. One of the issues are where is he? Obi Nswede Abayo Asem. Obi, here in Chicago, we used to buy gas for $2.66 somewhere in February. Now the gas price is almost $4 per gallon. Jackson Amando, Chicago in the US of A. And on the way are praying. Jackson Amando, Chicago. Okay. Jackson Amando, thank you. In your man, you share other issues.
Yeah. My son, Tiffany, enormously. So almost when
Ekosiisen On Asempa FM.
Dr. Gideon Boako.
Yeah.
On his new technological waiver.
No,
or the
and the hearts never fireball.
Oh, not a draw.
Has a lady one nail.
No, either 2 or 1. And the credit on here. And my will cram by more being Memina Abia Casavanum. First half an hour.
Yes, first half.
Oh, we'll be now in already. Born NDB, just 1-1 or 2-2. So just discard it. No more muscle. Yeah, the neighbor will say. The has this one, the open no more. We you're from around 2 bitters. As my pet sponsor round 2 bitters. Who's the only back on film crew?
Yeah,
the round 2 bitters.
Ah, in some your friends are.
I know my son and my mate. I'm just a film crew.
Oh,
and the Indian was a mid prem around 2. But Obi quickly, my miss and Food and Drugs Authority. Christmas Eve, me domas me was almost see a soup surprise me. Oh, most of the malls ne me tontonam. Medical culture say enipa binom wo eye incredible titu eye enkrai Ghana titu enkrai.
Ekosiisen On
Enipa binom
Asempa
bi meat shops are almost omoton fresh chicken.
Yeah.
But a frozen. Inti Food and Drugs Authority me bomb abaso damase for acting on all the needed information that you be a day mamma. Na me go so kai mo se montre mo shim. If it's a Christmas countdown na ashas you know. And Ghana for mu dodo na kase em parking kai. Inti ye market no nyoma bi eni kwanse enya ho kwan ba market ni so no ana ebeba. Tiebe Food and Drugs Authority titu one a deceive Ghana for say frozen chicken almost say air fresh chicken no
omuana
ekunu no and as omokoji fresh free a supplier no
but also the challenge is also first no na cold store chicken na okwa wenya ne sre na bia wenya ne nsa na wenya nechi say india no but nansa no even cold store there no obekọ ne kon ni bi wom ne nsa ni
what I'm saying no Obi o nye na madwuma me ye na madwuma ye won tricks bi bra etimi ma enam no e se de e nam no na enye nam no so atese eno san tricks no ebi na nipa bi no eton nam no e yusu but clearly say o ko na de kofia won se da bi e odwan funu se bi anu ato ama when so ni na madwuma ni ma you cannot detect it so atese say ko fa frozen chicken siwa na o ka na chija kakra bi na ye nomi kama o de jasi o na ade enchi so na ebe gugu bete ti se na ope ye sudi kala ne ko ni bi no apete so kakra bi e do se freezer mu a obo se o no o hwe o roba ni ma glass ni sana na se akoko ni moja no ana etine for ye ku ni de ba ye ni
na sudi re edible ye timidi
Abuja Food and Drugs Authority I'm saying say omonko rounds and I thank God that they are acting on some of these conversations that we have on Ekosiisen. And very important to me, very important because a lot of us so gullible. Ye trim policy ye koto ade ye fresh. And ye frozen. Into a very careful no go to the aid of Ghanaians. African afford donors no. So juice. I hold ababa.
Carbonated and the room be crowd say
juice I hold. And so be brave ba kukenwa. And then look at the Food and Drugs Authority ade. Omaba abeka say na ye dware so no. Ade bi e ba ha bia no. Yes, as say your bro for kasa no bi no so no. E but and you be brave aba ye dware so a. E strange titu enu ahodo ye nsa. And also bebre wo market nim ensa ba ko ma osisi ma yede ema oni aso atete ema onu mada ho ema ofuru so ate ema onse mu ateretene ema nanse chicho ensa na wo konom no already ensa wo challenge ede nam no ensa na nkasa ye nyoma we bebre it be so FDA for wa share so de bi omde form sa nyoma ni nyina ho
okay
impo omde afama nyene nipa bonifo ni binu sa nam koti kwaso enyoma ensem fata FDA for in some capacity no ebi entimi su de Ghana but we need the modern mo betimi aye mo ko dwaso
but they will rely on members of the public say yen alert you when we see Bibia Enkoyi
by the wickedness in this country no especially in relation to food consumption too much joy for sanitation or kitchen restaurants yes I mean yes
and the name kumi kwa baby I turn number
yes
hey akuya na wa say
consumption the way a Ghana for the do na yenti so and nam consumption the ba no ya ebe ko ya ni akoto and then we na the idea
wa me say wo the baby ebe play amount for wiki da it shouldn't be idea ye dia.
I'm not sure any pay ye. So I say, I'm not sure any pay ye. And no, I'm just and ya want to color. Fufu aye wa ye pe body apentu papa bi amleja na so. E de nwo won ni anase de watch ye ko kakra. Sa dry leaves no. Di bi ebi wono. Enu achi enwu di bi hye. Enyo ma ye wo oman nim titun kra no. Sika dodo. And this is born out of this how dishonest we are. Eba we see dishonesty so. Eba I am Shebian no. I am Shebian adufude. We are never content or satisfied with kakana ede ko enim no. Ye pe boom at a go. Sometimes you can blame poverty and hardships, but not all the time.
Not all the time.
So I just ebi on ma buapayo enibre any nim see the missing can be and dey bedu some people.
That's the point they say.
So
aho kire ni ohia no.
Yeah.
Obi anyame aye wadom wa hyedwa.
Yeah.
Udimi gem say wo kire to say. We wa hyedwa nko dey at least dey obedi.
Yeah. Honestly speaking, Osebo may person is stressing more on this point because Christmas Eve your hospitals already it mean containing part of that. So I say a lot of food poisoning, such complaints, no. Plus, said the person accidents, no. ABC, a lot of issues. Everybody, managing limiting some of these casualties now. Avoidable, avoidable. Until once again, Food and Drugs Authority, damasi. Ejumapa moye na de moye de boa Ghana, but yesre bosumi we simkopem afiwe na wiye no. Bra nipa bonifo bi ebenam akwan ahodo nyina so se ombe ye kana sichi
na moye so price sensitive no monye careful enya ade ayefuo bia na yeto won ukone yatisu hum na adoma daso o ye no one city kan de bia akofa milk one city ya wa milk akofa no one city milk akwa na hochi akofa no one city milk one city adoma daso
onkwa akofa milk one city ma ana obi number 2 sa de na ase edi agro ba every day urging that therefore na majority minority police service no I think say and no the susie bi ba hanum say betimi pa dia sa hoye na eba no and my disappointment continues to be with the majority in parliament. So at as if you krata na no make us say omo trobe gu abontin who counter krata so edom kuma no so etroba why it is just one Ghana. The Ghana police service feels say omo enhihye mu no omo wanamo esiso mutu obi a sebi oni mra ekochiwo mu nyina so mudi tum se emrahye bedwani omro emra so baby aye contending se ekwan a obefa so a odi be chisa emrahye bedwani no ana se bre a otimi di chisa emrahye bedwani no enu ne nkomo a yeguso ere
na me other worry ne say the argument has been say Ubechim Rashe Bejenia, and we will go through a certain process. As we speak, has the police complied with that process? The answer is yes. Why are we still having this debate? If indeed, say per articles 117, 118, and was a police need go through a certain process to invite a member of parliament. Initially, police for and people criticized them. Subsequently, they wrote to the speaker officially. Why are we still having this debate?
Ekosiisen On Asempa.
Because if they've gone through the process, the reasons being given say, member of parliament and police for her. I still don't get it.
And I also want to suggest to the minorities, say, Obi, Omo Ekasadodo. So on this matter, I really think that it's something now go behind the scenes. Now, this ankomo way. Na ye etwa ye na bibia to dey etwa. Yes sir, this is not the Ghana that we all want to build. It is not a fair country for us to be battling back and forth on this matter. Obi in the Meka Okoye hospitals now. Challenges in hospitals now. Enormous.
It's too much.
A choir be first so a bit messy hospitals. Ever seen the Okoye schools now? Education on seven. You can you. If your bripa as I say they overstretch your junior. such relevant areas no obesi ne Ghana for do na eba ba bi omdo omutiri beto a e wasem a problem ebesi ne eba Ghana dollar to the cedi na e ho hwehwe no enya adwuma ketwa ebesi ne akwanya emaburu dodo na betibenya no matindi aye adwuma ma mo atomo whether government or private or individual nangasa whatever no enu nyina no ye wie san komo no. So these distractions eba emwoma oman nankasa ade potia esese ye dwene ho no etimi no. Sometimes I'm just so sad, and sometimes I blame the two of us and Nyanum. One reason I see me be acquired Commander Sugar Factory up to this point, a don Kumanzi say, a don Kessian say, Abaya also say, Abaya also say. Eti yen central for no so assessing etimi jib e brand ya daji yen hwehwemu independently etimi kase de edi aban owosu na na moto eyani so enyani so aban owosu baabi ojakogu ni na ma na otunu eyani so enyani so yesi ejiri se baabi edunu we necessary yesi necessary kono Commander Sugar Factory abeda na political jobs and we ba no abejabo at the expense of Ghana for a pay jumaye. We have a big problem in this country that needs to be attended to. It cannot always be the usual politicking on all matters. We are a beba up as a country. And very bad. Because you know, you fool your man and your dear. Because we who say, the kind of people are buying SARS here, aviation as here, I shall be. Switchback cantonments. Now, Laboni. Now she aban inkofo ebi omo abam to do na one so efi air administration mo now she Ghana nsase o ma fa. You are only asking yourself that did we come into power just to amass wealth at the expense of the ordinary Ghanaian? In amassing wealth, what have you done to impact on the ordinary Ghanaian or to something and we are take us or delisika edema but that's it ojuma no o ka ho ejuma no ho no what about the chairman that's your niece ejuma nim bio ejuma no ho no they have supervised under one allote na make catch one no as I speak to you now no ejuma wo na de hu nim dada dey I don't nim my friends commission. No, but out better. No, I've not heard that news.
Oh, long time.
No, I've not heard that news.
Oh, no, not the cow.
Yeah, but what's saying, Mama?
Ekosiisen On Asempa.
But what's saying, Mama? And I said this yesterday. So if you are aware of this, I make aware now. What we are directing the conversation, but for me, but to that conversation, make aware now. And we say, a forest. Obi just a minute and Pamso Forest and Pamso Forest and Crown Quantos or whatever. The pictures and the illegality in terms of chainsaw operations. Now what you are not aware of this? Miss Aloteno or not aware of this? No, look what Miss Aloteno catch up. We should offer climate change number. No, on my what big good forest report. No, I'm sorry, so I'm just no, I thought say or until I will be diverted towards the ban. Yeah. I thought. Mr. Aloteno. We cannot progress as a country. Abansa siamu from Ganam says some gusamu illegally. First, you saw young commission sucha. It will be as the powers that be. No, be the better able the powers that be. Massa, chop lefa. It will bring from face. And to be a ceremony buo. They are so homoyano. They are so homoyano. And to be the best.
Ekosiisen On Asempa FM.
When things fall apart and the center is not holding up, anarchy is the next resort. And a buy any color. Any color, if you are not trying, who a former worker over here, make out what cutting off you or so, Nina, your brain, I mean, just also there's an illegality being practiced at that place. That's not illegality, no. Who the person responsible is he a name?
Obi, mama, 1 second. You see,
very painful.
Yes, we need to back home. in palms forest or come no I'm aware say illegality cause but I am palms forest in kwa where a bus illegality within the forest say ye huna say chainsaw kwa they will chainsaw and they walk farming within the forest and they walk galamsey sani ma we nyina cause but baby cause bia o man matete it is say o man no e man ye adwen say ye be boa commissioner ma commissioner quotia eniema e be befom
commission so ye o madwen say o mon compromise
commission na ma forest
commission so ye o madwen say o mon compromise
o illegal chainsaw
or forest entry permit
no but
you need a permit they are compromising you need a permit how will I enter into that forest? One, if many powers that be. Two, if I don't have the consent of the minister.
No, but the point is, man, so we need a permit to enter. Then you cannot blame the commission.
But on to the nature, me say, or say permission or commission, entry for an illegality. And I'm saying, say, it and no crime in the papa no. Obi any bet me rasa forestry zone reserved without the consent of certain people within that institution commission or a higher authority. Now what ready to say me catch one. So be illegal gram say no Ghana be for ordinary person. Me pay me tools. Na me illegal mining. Na we dey be MTC. He knows what I'm talking about. Maybe I know maybe on person no comment no. But obi any obi rura Ghana see and can
no forest but it's not even about pumps forest reserve no. Obi the thing say
pumps so many cars
kan wa ha o mo ani mani me be kan wa
the side aspect the way I know them pa na kwabra reason I mean a serious I've been on the forefront. Me catch you say I nearly lost my life. A kaki two being coming we a voter region. Then I say bo
now, some were forest guards.
Your forest guards.
I'm going to say so that.
Oh yes, I'm sure forest front.
Yeah, forest entirely.
But no, but only enough.
It almost a pepper forest. What's your favorite?
And forest needed the empam so far.
And you crowding.
Debbie.
Okay.
Now, a crony be a benwa. Ali make the constituency. I didn't camp but Niama Ekoso Honodium. I know ding, but I don't can say Ura journality or one crime. He's a chief executive. Until the son of a born on a ye. We have
Nana don't know your petrol.
Obi say
Nana don't know your petrol. But don't come and give don't come and hold brief for people. People are assigned responsibilities, given authority to ensure. Now, see police service no. Almost some movie Biomana. Why is the NDC? Why is the NDC? I don't know police service. I don't want to say police for Nana. I don't assist state housing corporation. I don't want to do Anna. I don't think na come your bono money. I don't want to do Anna. I don't call Singapore or the energy ministry or I don't want to do Anna. No. So if you don't want to run away from the allote bidder, money who? If you want to run away, I understand. Because one can't come and no, and none of them come and say, we are about fear, don't peer and so crabra, who can't come on. And all be draw my attention, say, you are no more with the outfit. So understand your position. But you know the truth.
No, but
if you say, sorry, and I'm say, also blame, your mama do so, your mama, the question transformers, he's the leader. So we are looking out for a person who could make that challenge, no, off, or exit, no. Not the level of doing so, and the advice, and the question you know, the level of doing so. Now will be that's all Hana. Your 4 years doing so experience now. Your mama existed, that's all. No, so that's a leader. It won't be can James or better for a commission to offer Undina, Nisan, Nana don't send me and Cato my guy until we ministers were amazing catch for. So me come a half as you think enough, that's a messy catch, the modern born showing here. I'll make noise. Noise will be affecting another down because he invested in them a power to stand in his stead. But if we shift from responsibility,
he also raises a very important
issue.
Sometimes influence beyond the first commission. I say CEO. Beyond the CEO.
Obi, say CEO. Say me and half friends as in you.
Are they?
oh na da bia nsa hye bia eche omo fa ba asase okwa yes we dia ofa yes we dia and you see the danger here is that politicians they always see what is happening. That's the danger, and I'm telling them politicians don't want to say omo did ye nsase no omo did Roman marriage ni labon ni ka omo ka say omo ye smart ama omo fu some ye smart ama John now a new person
no or deputize Sir John Abra
oh no a deputy to Sir John
yes
na say the chance kasa of first commission say the chance kasa well say the chance kasa na ko mo so tia na so ye say the chance ba first say mo
na wo boxing ni say
no but no
o dey cause wo
he cannot speak
you anu we jaya eduma
munkoso
well obi
ubejirema malu tena koso
minye eduma for commission
you cannot possibly talk about forestry commission
you want some can and maybe one day I will tell my story.
Ekosiisen On Asempa
eduma ye koye the forest no de hu hia say na ye de ensa hjem na ye boama oman ne kwaye because no
but na problem ne dey say muhu sara say mote say forest we nkofo bi gumu ye illegal chainsaw ade na ya muntimi nkopa mo mu free
no anya easy sa o ne kan different na sabi o ho adwuma so ye different we nya nsa asem but you see enipa na obi okodi ewu okrada
dabe
nti obi kwa ko pedia
no do mo ya asojafo na e protect you
sa
asojafo protect you ni la
obi na we see we dey do be so akachi obi se me say na
obi do ba site
me so odi ni hobi ba o no ankasa o join news ankasa report o mo dia bebe na o kan tie sa say
mo dey